Good evening, everyone. Thanks for visiting Wellness and Friends Moonlight Harmony. I'm Marshmallow Wagashi, bringing you another episode of Bedtime Story. Worrying is a common experience that everyone goes through at some point in their lives. It's natural to feel anxious about uncertain outcomes or situations that are beyond our control. However, while some level of concern can motivate us to take necessary actions and prepare us for the future, excessive worrying can be detrimental to our psychological and physical well-being. In fact, many experts argue that worrying is pointless and unproductive, as it often leads to negative thought patterns, increased stress levels, and decreased overall happiness. Tonight, set aside any concerns or anxieties and let Wellness and Friends Moonlight Harmony Bedtime Story help you unwind to a peaceful state of mind before drifting off to sleep. The Wise Man, story by an unknown author. Adapted and rewritten by Marshmallow Wagashi. Deep in the heart of a bustling town, there lived a wise man. Every day, he would sit outside his humble home, waiting for people to come to him, seeking his counsel. One by one, they would approach him with their problems, from broken hearts to shattered dreams, from financial woes to family feuds. But despite the variety of issues they brought to him, the wise man noticed that they all had one thing in common. They would come back to him with the same problems time after time again, never seeming to find a solution. One day, the wise man decided to try something different. Instead of offering them advice, he told them a joke. The people were taken aback at first, unsure of how to react. But then, one by one, they began to chuckle. And soon the sound of laughter filled the air. The wise man was pleased. He had reminded them that joy and happiness were still possible even in the midst of their troubles. But he wasn't finished yet. He waited a few moments and then told them the same joke again. This time, only a few people smiled. He told the joke a third time. But this time, there was no laughter at all. The people looked at him in confusion, unsure of why he was repeating the same joke over and over. The wise man smiled and said, "You can't laugh at the same joke over and over. So why are you always crying about the same problem?" The people were stunned. They had never thought of it that way before. They realized that they had been stuck in a circle of negativity, always dwelling on their problems without ever taking action to solve them. From that day forward, the people began to take the wise man's words to heart. They started to look for solutions to their problems rather than simply complaining about them. And even when times were tough, they never forgot the power of a good laugh or the wisdom of the man who had reminded them of it. The message of the wise man's story is: excessively ruminating over our problems won't lead to solutions. It will only drain our time and energy. Tonight, I will treat you to an extra bedtime story which I have yet to title. There was a man who was constantly worried. He would fret over everything. He would spend hours every day dwelling on his problems, imagining worst-case scenarios and stressing about things that were beyond his control. Despite all his worrying, the man never seemed to find any solutions. In fact, his problems only seemed to grow larger and more daunting with each passing day. One day, the man met a wise owl who could talk. The man poured out his heart to the owl, telling the owl all his worries and fears. The owl listened patiently, nodding his head as the man spoke. When the man had finished, the owl looked at him kindly and said, "Worrying won't solve your problems. It will just waste your time and energy." At first, the man was taken aback. He had never thought of it that way before. But as he thought about the owl's words, he began to see the truth in them. Worrying won't solve your problems. It'll just waste your time and energy. He realized that all his worrying had been pointless. It hadn't solved any of his problems. In fact, it had only made them worse. It had drained him of his energy and robbed him of his joy. From that day forward, the man decided to take the owl's words to heart. Whenever he felt himself starting to worry, he would remind himself that it was a waste of time and energy. Instead, he focused on finding solutions to his problems, taking action to make positive changes to his life. And slowly but surely, the man's worries began to fade away. He became more confident, more resilient, and more at peace with himself and the world around him. He realized that life was full of challenges and obstacles, but that worrying about them would only make things worse. Instead, he learned to face his problems head on, with courage, determination, and a healthy dose of optimism. When darkness looms and worries creep, and life's uncertainties run deep, it's easy to lose sight of hope and struggle just to try and cope. But in these moments, it's important to know that optimism can help us grow, to focus on what we can control and find the strength to reach our goals. For every worry that we face, there's a silver lining in its place. A chance to learn and a chance to grow strong, to find our purpose and carry on. So let's search our hearts and decide. Take each challenge in our stride. With hope and optimism as our guide, we'll find the courage to strive and shine. Thanks for joining me. I'm Marshmallow Wagashi. The evening's the time to unwind with wellness and friends, moonlight harmony. Till next time, wishing you good night and sweet dreams.